Brics does. Silver is going to go up relative to gold. I think the most important fact is the Western-based debt system is collapsing, and the Brics system is going to be the last man standing.
Join financial expert Bob Moriarty in a riveting discussion about the potential collapse of the Western financial system, the rise of Brics, and the future of gold-backed currencies. As one of the most respected figures in the financial field, Bob shares his insights on the unfolding financial crisis in Europe, the potential for a new reserve currency, and the impacts on the precious metals market. Let's listen in.
Ukraine says the Russians were shelling the largest nuclear power plant in Europe, and Russia said Ukraine was going to shell the nuclear power plant. Russians had control of that since early March of 2022, so there's no reason for Russia to blow up a nuclear power plant that's been under their control for 15 months. Ukraine has run one false flag after another, and it's coming to a head because there's a meeting of NATO in a week. Force, and Russia is the immovable object, and when an irresistible force meets an unmovable object, you get unmeasurable energy. Somebody has to break, and I think the United States is about to realize the United States is broken. Macron has talked to Zelensky, and I think he told Zelensky, okay, stop the stupid crap. You've been shelling that nuclear power plant for a year, and you shut off the power to it so the cooling plant would overheat. And we need to stop that because that would be catastrophic for Europe. But the real key is this is the defeat of the United States and the defeat of NATO. Regardless of how you feel about the war politically, the Russian weapons are so much better than NATO and Ukraine's weapons that it's been total carnage. The kill ratio is about 10 to 1. Ukraine has lost somewhere over 350 to 400,000 young men, and that's catastrophic. It should have never taken place in the first place. Ukraine actually signed a peace agreement in March of last year, and Boris Johnson, at the direction of the White House, told Zelensky to keep fighting. This is a totally irrational war. NATO is going to, this could be the end of NATO, okay? Because NATO has used everything in their power to defeat Russia, and it's been catastrophic for Ukraine. It has destroyed Ukraine, and that's what NATO brought the world.
Now, it seems like, as we've mentioned before, the sanctions, that what impact does Bob think the BRICS summit in August will have on the silver price?
That's a really good question. Gold is going to go up. I think we've started a gold rally literally in the last day or two. Silver is exceptionally cheap relative to gold. So regardless of what Brics does, silver is going to go up relative to gold. I think the most important fact is the Western-based debt system is collapsing, and the Brics system is going to be the last man standing. The U.S. dollar will exist for a long time because there's lots of transactions that have been dominated in dollars. However, the dollar is headed for the exit. The Western-based debt system is headed for the exit. The underpinnings of the stock market and the financial market are exceptionally shaky. The 2-year Treasury interest rate just hit the highest it's been in years. So the collapse that I've been talking about for 15 years is in progress. Things are going to get considerably worse, and Brics is going to substantially increase their power in the world. because everybody's looking at Europe and the United States and saying we don't want to follow them anymore. I am a believer. The only measure that I've ever seen that consistently works is sentiment, and the sentiment for the general stock market is extremely high, and that means the next major move is down. You always have the highest sentiment at tops because everybody's bullish, and you have the lowest sentiment at bottoms. So all you have to do to nail a top or a bottom is look at sentiment. Fools want to buy at tops and sell at bottoms, and every measure I see says that people are way too bullish on what is an exceptionally dangerous market, and the underpinnings of the market are very poor. So my belief is, I didn't come down the mountain with Moses, but my belief is the next major move in the stock market is down. I literally called the top in silver on January 21st of 1980. And in 2000, I went into a friend of mine's coin shop in Miami, and I was buying 100-ounce silver bars. I think silver was about $5.25. It went as low as $4 in 2021, but in 2001, sorry. In 99 and 2000, you could buy hundreds of 100-ounce bars. So I talked to the dealer because, like you have 8 cents. You have so much information. The rest of us are just guessing. You're talking to real customers. And I asked him, where do you get all these 100-ounce bars? I've never seen this many 100-ounce bars. So I bought it for my customers. I said, well, why are they selling? Well, these are the guys who were buying in 1980, and they've had 20 years of declines. They're getting sick and tired of it, so they're unloading the bars. And I said, oh, really? Give me a bunch of them. And I bought a lot of silver bars, around $4.50 to $5.50 an ounce. I was really proud of myself. I want everybody to understand, everybody is guessing, including me. I just happen to be a better guesser than most of these guys. But my sentiment indication and my feeling is that we've seen the bottom. And if it dipped below 1900, I wouldn't care. I think it's exceptionally cheap right now, and it's going to go higher. The Fed has painted itself into a corner, and it's getting mousetrapped. Now, I think they will raise rates, but what is obvious is that is exceptionally destructive to the banking system, to the financial system overall, to insurance companies. When you look at commercial real estate is getting absolutely killed with the high interest rates. So the Fed's faced with two choices. They can have a heart attack or they can have lung cancer. If they keep raising rates, they're going to blow the system sky high. And if they lower rates, we're going to have hyperinflation. Each of them leads to a market that explodes. I mean, it's been coming for a long time. It's very predictable. It's happened many times before. And I feel sorry for the guys at the Fed because they're waking up to the fact, we may have screwed up.
It definitely does seem like they're trapped here. We were for a few months there really tracking every single bank crisis that was happening. It seems like a couple months since First Republic collapsed, but the fundamental issues in the banking system seem to remain. Your perspective on that right now?
Well, the fundamentals are getting worse. As long as they keep raising interest rates, real estate gets killed. And there are so many loans that are coming up for renewal that we know aren't going to get paid. We are set up for a perfect storm financially, and nothing has changed. If anything, it's gotten worse. We just haven't had 4 major banks collapse in the last week or two. But we're not through with the bank collapse yet.
It seems like if, there's not a bank collapsing in this last week, people kind of forget about it.
There's at least 300 or $350 trillion in interest rate derivatives, and they're going to blow up. They're going to blow up if interest rates go up, and they're going to blow up if interest rates go down. I would be very nervous about insurance companies right now, along with the banks and pension funds, because they're in a forest fire with a Force 10 hurricane approaching. There's no good solutions other than to hunker down, stay out of debt, and own some serious resources. Well, that's exactly what's going to happen. The big corporations, frankly, don't see or don't fear. They have a lot of power and a lot of money. But they're the same guys holding the $500 trillion in derivatives. And I've heard, and I don't know if it's true or not, that there could be as many as $2 trillion or $3 trillion in off-the-books derivatives. The derivatives have always been a ticking time bomb. They are what almost brought the system down in 2008, and it's going to bring that system down, and we're going to have a collapse of values and a shift to real assets. And I just absolutely encourage people, you should own insurance against financial chaos, and that's gold and silver. I believe it. I've got a grandson of Barbara who is getting married literally a few days from now, and they want to go on honeymoon to Hawaii next year. And I thought, well, I'll pay for that. And then I thought, wait a minute, if I send them $10,000 or $12,000 for a really nice honeymoon, who knows what the value of that's going to be? So I bought them 20 English sovereigns, and regardless of what happens, those are going to have value, and probably substantial value. The banking system is exceptionally dangerous, and obviously you got to keep something in the bank, but don't keep anything in the bank that you can't afford to lose, because at some point in time, there will be, the banks will fail and they will seize the money. It's a great time to own gold. Someone had contacted me who was selling a cottage in the UK, and she managed to pick up English sovereigns when they were just about £390 per sovereign, which is the lowest price it's been in a long time. But that is cash. We used to understand that was money. So it's not, you're not buying gold, you're just holding cash in a totally different form. I don't keep a penny in banks that I'm not prepared to lose, because I don't care. I've got resources outside the banking system, and I know no matter what happens, I'm going to be okay.